Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar on AS9100 Evolution, Insight to the Upcoming Revisions. We're going to go ahead and get started so we can get as much knowledge and information out to you all. All right, before I do hand it on over, I do want to go over a few things about what we do here at BV. All right. So we are a business to society company. Our employees serve our clients and are inspired by society. They make Bureau Veritas a business to society service company that contributes to positively transforming the world we live in. Thanks to unrivaled expertise, technical knowledge, and worldwide presence, we support our clients by managing quality, safety, health, and sustainability risks and the benefit of society as a whole. Our mission to shape a world of trust by ensuring a responsible progress. And a few other things here is we have delivered over 150,000 certificates worldwide. We have companies certified around the world, about 146,000. We have over 8,100 auditors with strong experience in continuous skills development, and 300 of the Fortune 500 companies work with us. And we have over 100 plus certification products and auditing solutions, plus 70 plus accreditations deliveries by national and international bodies. And we are also in 140 countries, served from 80 countries of operation. And just want to touch base here a little on a few things we do here on the certification side of Bureau Veritas. We do QHSE, transport, food, sustainability, enterprise, customized audits, and training. And then our housekeeping for today is I will be keeping all microphones and cameras off during the webinar. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A box. If you did not get your questions answered today, we'll definitely be reaching out to make sure that question is answered. And this webinar will be recorded. So come Thursday, you will be receiving a follow-up email with the slides, the recording, and other information that will get shared to you. So I'm going to hand this the presentation off to our speakers. They are the best. The camaraderie between the two of them are like no other. It's been a joy working with them. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off script. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So I'm going to hand this over to Russ. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and my camera, and I'm going to have you guys take it over.
Hello, my name is Russ Bloom, and I'm happy to meet you, even though I can't see you at this point. But let you know a little bit about myself. Is I am a certified aerospace defense lead auditor. I've been doing this for decades, but I have a degree in business management. I was an Army officer and I served in Vietnam. Following that, I spent years as a quality manager of several different organizations. And then I spent 10 years in management of a certification body similar to Bureau Veritas. I won't say whether we were better or not, but we'll leave it go. And anyway, the last 20 years or so, my business partner and I have developed and managed a consulting firm, Eagle Force Inc. And currently we have 8 consultants out running around, and we have more Army bases certified than, well, we have almost all of them that are currently certified, and we have a significant number of NAVAIR bases that are certified. And so before I go launching into what we want to talk about today, I thought I would turn it over to Roger and he could introduce himself.
Thanks, Russ. My name is Roger Ritter-Beck, and I am the Aerospace Program Manager here at Bureau Veritas Certification North America. And I also serve on the Global Steering Committee for Bureau Veritas Certification globally. I also represent Bureau Veritas at the Americas Aerospace Quality Group, where I have served on various subcommittees over the years. At Bureau Veritas, I'm responsible for maintaining the aerospace accreditation and managing the aerospace certification business. I've been in certification industry for 25 plus years with over 20 years of management, primarily focused in aerospace, especially since the initial release of AS9100 in 1999. I have managed the transition to every 9100 revision since 1999. Like Russ, I'm also an aerospace experienced auditor in AEA and have conducted hundreds of audits in aviation, space, and defense sectors. Okay.
So we have a lot to cover today, and we're going to try to get all of this in. And so we have a pretty tight script to go through. And so if we stammer through stuff, forgive us, and we'll just keep moving on. But what we want to start by looking at who developed AS9100 and why. Understanding the origin helps clarify the intent behind many of the requirements we see today. Then we'll move into the history of the revisions. Each revision reflects key changes in the aerospace industry, from documentation heavy systems to risk management thinking. And next, we'll look at how AS9100 relates to other standards, such as ISO 9001, AS9110, and AS9120. This connection is especially important for organizations that operate across multiple quality systems and supply chains.
Yeah, and after that, we'll discuss the benefits of certification, not just from compliance perspective, but in terms of business performance, customer confidence, and competitive advantage. And finally, we'll explore the future of AS9100, what's next for the standard, and how organizations can start preparing now for the next wave of expectations around sustainability, digital transformation, and supply chain resilience. By the end of the session, you should have a clear understanding of where AS9100 came from, how it has evolved, and what you can do to stay ahead as it continues to change. So let's start at the beginning with the origins of 9100 and the group that first developed it. Russell, could you switch to slides, because I don't seem to be able to.
Try
Allison,
hitting your space bar. Yeah.
Hit the space bar?
Yeah, Russ, you want to hit the space bar?
Yeah, I'm doing that too. It's kind of froze.
It's frozen.
What slide do you see?
We see the first one, your main screen.
All right, I'm going to try this again. It's not letting me progress through the slides.
Okay.
1 second, everybody.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, now we're on cue. AS9100 was developed by the International Aerospace Quality Group, or the IAQG, in the mid-1990s. The IAQG is a global coalition of aerospace companies and organizations, including major manufacturers, suppliers, and regulators. Their mission is to improve quality, safety, and reliability across the aerospace supply chain. Before AS9100, aerospace suppliers often had to comply with multiple overlapping quality standards from different customers. This caused audit redundancy, confusion, and increased cost. The IAQG recognized the need for a single harmonized standard that the aerospace industry could use. The IAQG recognized that aerospace products are high risk and highly regulated. A small mistake could have serious consequences, even catastrophic ones. So AS9100 was designed to make sure organizations in the supply chain were aligned in quality expectations and could demonstrate consistent compliance.
The why is just as important as the who, and there were three main drivers. One, reduce complexity. Many suppliers were juggling several customer-specific audits and requirements. AS9100 provided a unified standard to streamline these audits. Number two, improve safety and reliability. Aerospace products demand extremely high levels of quality because the risks are so significant. The standard ensures processes are designed to prevent errors before they happen. And three, enhance competitiveness. Companies with AS9100 certification demonstrate credibility to global customers, improving market access and strengthening business relationships. The interesting that for us, as if we work with several hundred organizations, is nearly every organization implements AS9100 for the third reason I gave you, because number one, customers are requiring it. And secondly, if they don't have customers that require it, they feel like by getting AS9100, they would be able to get those customers, and that's true. So in essence, the standard is a collaboration between the world's leading aerospace organizations designed to help protect the end user, reduce risk, and improve efficiency across the supply chain.
And a few facts to keep in mind. The IAQG operates on a regional structure with oversight in the Americas, Europe, and Asia Pacific. So in my introduction, I mentioned I represent us at the Americas Aerospace Quality Group. There's also a European Aerospace Quality Group, as well as the Asian Pacific Aerospace Quality Group. And the standard is voluntarily adopted by organizations, but as Russ mentioned, many customers require it as a condition for doing business. You can think of AS9100 as a bridge. It connects general quality management principles with the very specific needs of aerospace, making sure products are not just good on paper, but safe, reliable, and traceable in real life. To summarize, AS9100 was developed by the IAQG, a global aerospace coalition, to provide a single, harmonized standard that ensures safety, reliability, and efficiency across the aerospace supply chain. Understanding this origin is important because it frames the why behind each requirement we follow today. Every process, procedure, and audit point is tied to the goal of protecting customers and ensuring consistent quality. So let's take a look at the evolution of ISO 9001 into AS9100. So understanding the history of the revision helps us see how the standard has adapted to industry changes, customer expectations, and advances in technology. Each revision reflects a lessons learned from the global aerospace community to improve quality, safety, and reliability. As you'll notice, that is a consistent theme that is critical to aerospace. The first edition of AS9100 was released in 1999 by the IAQG, and yes, I did audit to that standard way back when. Before that, most aerospace manufacturers followed ISO 9001 because that's all that existed, but it didn't fully address the risk and complexities of aviation, space, and defense. AS9100 built upon ISO 9001 and added aerospace-specific requirements such as configuration management, risk management, product traceability, product safety, and many, many more. The goal was to create a globally recognized standard so companies across the aerospace supply chain could work to the same quality expectations. In 2001, AS9100 Revision A was released to align the aerospace standard with the ISO 9001-2000 version. This version introduced the process-based approach, shifting focus from individual procedures to how processes interact and contribute to the overall effectiveness of the system. It also expanded the scope beyond manufacturing to include design, development, and service, reinforcing that quality applies throughout the product lifecycle.
In 2004 version, AS9100B focused mainly on refinement and clarification. It corrected minor inconsistencies and improved for clarity of language, making the standard easier to apply and audit. While there weren't major structural changes, this revision helped stabilize the standard and prepare for the next major update. In 2009, AS9100C was released to align with ISO 9001-2008 and brought the stronger emphasis on risk management, project management, supplier control. This revision addressed the fact that many quality issues originated in the supply chain. It also strengthened requirements for customer satisfaction, on-time delivery, and corrective action effectiveness. Auditors began using a tool like Process Effectiveness Assessment Report, or PAIR, to evaluate how the process achieved their intended results. And I would tell you that changed the entire industry, because now they were not just looking at, do we conform? They're looking at, does the system actually perform? That was a whole different story and really changed everything. And the current revision of AS9100D was released in 2016 to align with ISO 9001-2015. This revision introduced high-level structure, which allows easier integration with other management system standards. It expanded the use of risk-based thinking, organized context, and leadership involvement. And I will tell you, this brought senior leadership into the picture much more than any other revision of the standard, and really changed how this becomes a business management system, not just a quality system. There's also a greater focus on communication and awareness to ensure every employee understands how their work contributes to the quality objectives.
So in summary, AS9100 has
Hey,
evolved.
Roger. Hey, Roger, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I believe the slides are frozen again. Should you still be on? There we go.
Oh, no, yeah,
Perfect.
we're still on this. Yeah, we're on this slide
Okay,
right
just
here.
wanted to make sure. Okay,
Yep,
sorry,
thanks.
go ahead.
It's okay. So in summary, AS9100 has evolved from a supplement to ISO 9001 into a comprehensive aerospace quality management framework. Each revision strengthened its focus on risk, safety, and consistency, driving continual improvement and ensuring confidence in products and processes throughout the global aerospace industry.
AS9100 relates to other standards, and those relationships are very important to the aerospace organization. AS9100 doesn't exist in isolation. It is intentionally designed to align with other management system standards, especially, obviously, ISO 9001. This alignment ensures consistency across industry, simplifies integration for companies that work under multiple standards, and promotes common language of quality management. ISO 9001 is built on the foundation of ISO 9001. Every clause of ISO 9001 is included in AS9100, word for word. And then the aerospace specific requirements are added in bold text, identified as additional paragraphs. For us, when we work with an organization that is currently ISO upgrading to AS, one of the key things is that, is there a solid ISO system? Because the AS9100 builds upon that, and if ISO is not solid, we have to stop and rebuild the ISO system in order to make this thing work. But once it does, it works excellently. And then AS9100 adds specialized systems for aerospace, such as configuration management, risk management, product safety, and counterfeit part prevention. These additions address the high-risk nature of the aerospace products, where a single defect can cause serious consequences. Now, AS9100 is part of a family of aerospace standards developed by the International Aerospace Quality Group. In AS9100, there are companion standards that apply to specific parts of the aerospace supply chain. AS9110 focuses on maintenance, repair, and overhaul, MRO. It's designed for companies that service them and maintain aircraft or components rather than manufacture them. AS9120 applies to aerospace distributors or those who purchase, store, and sell parts, materials, and assemblies. It assures control of traceability, documentation, and storage. Together, these three, AS9100, AS9110, and AS9120, form the core of the IAQG Aerospace Quality System Standards. Beyond the IAQG family, AS9100 also connects with several related standards and frameworks that support specific quality functions. For example, AS9145 focuses on advanced product quality planning and production part approval process, PPAP, which we'll be discussing that a couple slides from now, emphasizing early risk detect assessment and robust launch planning. AS9131 provides guidance on nonconformance documentation, ensuring consistent and traceability corrective actions across suppliers. AS9102 defines requirements for first article inspection, which verifies production process can consistently produce parts that meet or are meeting specifications. Each of these supporting standards reinforce the core intent of the AS9100, building a predictable, capable, and traceable aerospace supply chain. In addition to these aerospace-specific standards, AS9100 is also designed to integrate easily with other management system standards, such as ISO 14001, which I also do those audits for environmental management, and ISO 45001 for occupational health and safety. This is possible because all these standards share the same high-level structure, sometimes called Annex SL, meaning they all use a common structure and terminology. It's worth mentioning how AS9100 interacts with regulatory and customer requirements. For aerospace manufacturers, compliance doesn't stop with certification. Many must still meet Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, Department of Defense, DoD, or European Aviation Safety Agency, EASA, regulations. AS9100 complements these requirements by providing the management system structure to control and document compliance activity. Finally, the relationship between AS9100 and customer-specific standards is very strong. Many major aerospace primes, such as Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Airbus, and Raytheon, and others, require AS9100 certification as a baseline for supplier approval. In many cases, they add their own flow-down or customer-specific requirements, but AS9100 provides the core foundation that ensures suppliers speak the same, quote, quality language, unquote. So in summary, AS9100's relationship to other standards is one alignment and integration. It builds directly on ISO 9001, expands to include aerospace-specific risk and safety requirements, and connects seamlessly with the related standards that control special processes, inspection, and documentation. This web of standard ensures the entire aerospace supply chain operates consistently, reliability, and with confidence, no matter where in the world a part is manufactured or assembled.
So here we're going to discuss the benefits of certification. First and foremost, AS9100 certification builds customer confidence when done correctly. When a company is certified, it demonstrates to customers that it meets internationally recognized standards for quality and reliability. In the aerospace industry, where safety and precision are non-negotiable, that certification carries real weight. In many cases, AS9100 certification is also a requirement to be listed as an approved supplier. Without it, companies are often excluded from bidding on major aerospace contracts. And here I'm going to break off for a quick second and share an experience that just came up last week for us. We were doing a AS9100 Stage 2 certification audit where an unsuspecting company thought they were AS9100 certified. They had a nice looking certificate, said AS9100 from a certification body. However, the accreditation was not recognized by the IAQG, i.e., there was no ANAB logo at the bottom. So the potential customer said, you got to go get a good certificate. So always beware of what you're buying into. Second, certification drives process consistency and control. AS9100 helps ensure that every process from purchasing to final inspection is defined, measured, and continually improved. Third, AS9100 enhances risk management. The standard embeds risk-based thinking throughout the organization. It requires companies to identify potential risks and opportunities before problems occur, rather than reacting afterwards. This proactive mindset improves decision-making and helps avoid costly disruptions, whether those are due to supplier issues, equipment failures, or process changes. Some other benefits include improved traceability and accountability. AS9100 requires detailed record keeping for materials, processes, and inspections, which create a clear history of every product built, i.e., that's configuration management. Also engages employee engagement and communication throughout the system. When employees see how their daily tasks connect to the company's success and customer satisfaction, they tend to take greater ownership of their work. Next, AS9100 supports continuous improvement. As Russ mentioned, the process effectiveness reports are based on a 1 to 5 rating system, and if you're consistently at a 5, that's the highest you can get. So the emphasis would be to, improve those KPIs to continue to improve. From a strategic standpoint, AS9100 certification opens doors to new business opportunities. As Russ mentioned, most all of the largest aerospace companies in the world require 9100. Being certified positions a company to compete for global contracts, expand into new markets, and build long-term customer partnerships. It's not just a badge, it's a signal to the entire industry that the company operates at a world-class level. AS9100 certification brings measurable and strategic benefits. It builds customer trust, improves consistency, enhances risk management, strengthens traceability, engages employees, drives continual improvement, and expands market opportunities.
So, why a new revision of AS9100 is on the horizon? Standards like AS9100 aren't static. They're living documents, like many of the documents in your system, supposedly. They're not static, they're living. They evolve along with the aerospace industry, and they stay relevant and effective. The goal of every revision is to ensure the standard continues to reflect current technologies, risks, and customer expectations. The last major update, AS9100D, was released back in 2016. That may not seem like a long time ago, but in aerospace terms, nearly a decade brings tremendous amount of change. We've seen rapid growth in areas like digital manufacturing, additive processes, automation, data and analytics, and cybersecurity. Supply chains have become far more global and complex. At the same time, the industry has faced new challenges, from pandemic disruptions to increased regulatory oversight and sustainability expectations.
The IQG, which maintains AS9100, periodically reviews the standard to determine if revisions are needed. Their goal isn't to rewrite the system, but to keep it aligned with how modern aerospace organizations actually operate. They look at feedback from certified companies, auditors, customers, and regulatory agencies around the world. This feedback is captured in comments from industry stakeholders. Comments are tracked, and every one comment must be answered. Typically, a first draft of a revision will have over 400 comments, which can extend the review cycle. Each new revision also reflects updates in the underlying ISO 9001 standard, since AS9100 builds directly upon ISO 9001. Any structural or conceptual changes to ISO 9001 will flow into AS9100 as well. The next revision will focus on relevance, keeping the standard in step with how the industry has changed and where it's headed. Ultimately, the revision process ensures AS9100 continues to serve its purpose, providing a strong, consistent, and forward-looking framework for quality and safety across the global aerospace supply chain. In the next slide, we are looking at the evolution of AS9100. We'll take a look at the upcoming revision of AS9100, which will now become IA9100, as well as the 9110 and 9120. They will take on the same prefix. The next revision is designed to strengthen and modernize the quality management system across the aerospace industry. The goal isn't to reinvent the standard, but to make sure it continues to reflect current industry realities. We'll see a strong focus on areas that have evolved significantly since the last update, things like digital transformation, supply chain resilience, and sustainability. Revision will likely expand on how organizations manage and verify data integrity, protect intellectual property, and ensure digital tools are effectively managed into their processes. The 9 bullet points you see on the screen are the key new requirements and/or substantially enhanced requirements. So we will be touching on each one of these briefly in this presentation today, and in the upcoming months we will be doing individual monthly videos that will key in on each one of these in more detail. They will be in the form of YouTube videos, and as Allison mentioned, you will receive an email on Thursday detailing the information on how to get into those.
And then when we do, people will have the joyous experience of seeing us in person. Another theme in the new standards being released, another theme is risk and opportunity management, reinforcing proactive approaches to identifying risk earlier, particularly those affecting the supply chain, continuity, cybersecurity, and environmental factors. We'll also see organizational risks emphasized as well as operational risks, and those are significantly different and will be addressed that way. We can also expect to see the new revision to recognize that a successful QMS depends not just on procedures, but on people and engagement at every level. Overall, the new revision aims to make AS9100 more flexible, forward-linking standard that continues to support safety, reliability, and customer satisfaction in a rapidly changing global aerospace environment. Some of the more significant proposed changes that we will include were just read by Roger, and I'll avoid reading them all again since we'll touch base on each one of these then.
Okay, good, Russ. So the first brand new requirement is quality culture. The upcoming 9100 revision introduces quality culture as a key new element, signaling a shift from procedural compliance to behavioral excellence. The goal is to embed quality into the organization's mindset, not just its documentation. So, Russ, I'll ask you, what do you think the organizations will have to do to incorporate this?
Well, Roger, the new revision requires more emphasis on fostering a strong quality culture throughout the organization. This means building shared accountability, ensuring quality isn't just the quality department's job, but everyone's responsibility, from leadership to the shop floor. This means leadership must actively demonstrate and promote quality values, modeling integrity, accountability, and open communication. The focus is on fostering engagement at every level, where employees understand their impact on quality and feel empowered to raise issues or suggest improvements without fear. So, Roger, once an organization actually implements this thing, what would an auditor look for to see that this has been done adequately?
Yeah, sure, Russ. So auditors will likely look for evidence of a strong quality culture through leadership behavior, employee involvement, and proactive problem solving, not just records or metrics. In short, the revision emphasizes that quality is everyone's responsibility through personal warranty, and the culture of the organization must reflect that through consistent actions and decisions. The next bullet is also a brand new requirement, ethics and ethical behavior. This revision introduces ethics and ethical behavior as a new requirement, reinforcing the connection between integrity and quality performance. This addition reflects the industry's recognition that ethical conduct directly impacts product safety, customer trust, and the reliability of aerospace operations. The update will highlight ethical decision making, transparency, and personal accountability. So, Russ, with this concept, what do you think organizations would be expected to do?
That's kind of interesting, Roger. But originally, when they came out with the ethics requirement in the first place, I was a head scratcher, and I wasn't sure they were saying don't steal the paper clips, or what were they talking about with ethics? And then I realized that what they were actually talking about made a lot of sense. They're talking about if there's a router on the floor out there, did you follow the router or did you skip steps? Did you do things to take shortcuts? Did you do other things? Or was the environment such that ethics and ethical behavior was important? So organizations now will be expected to promote a culture of honesty, transparency, and accountability, not about paper clips, but about how they're managing this thing. Leadership must set the tone, establishing policies, modeling ethical decision making, and ensuring employees can raise concerns without fear of retaliation. So, in that case, Roger, how in the world would you audit this?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but auditors will look for more than a written code of ethics. They'll seek evidence that ethical behavior is actively encouraged, communicated, and integrated into day-to-day operations. Ultimately, this change strengthens the idea that quality and ethics go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Next new requirement is data protection and information security. This new requirement recognizes the growing importance of safeguarding digital information in aerospace operations. This edition aligns AS9100 or the new IA9100 with global expectations for cybersecurity resilience and protection of proprietary and customer data. So, Russ, what do you perceive companies doing to address this?
Well, with more digital processes and data exchange between customers, suppliers, and regulators, the standard will strengthen requirements for protecting proprietary and sensitive information, not only from cyber threats, but also from improper internal handling. And what we expect to see as industry continues to develop is this develops more and more requirements as we go down there in order to make sure this thing is adequately handled. Organizations will likely be expected to identify and control risk related to both physical and digital information, including design data, customer communications, intellectual property. It's not just about IT systems, it's about ensuring that everyone in the organization understands their role in protecting sensitive information. So once we work with an organization, we felt like, okay, that they got this nailed. So what can we expect to see from when you come in to look at this?
Yeah, so auditors will likely be looking for evidence of a structured approach, such as secure handling of customer data, incident response processes, and the integration of information security into the quality management system. Ultimately, this new requirement reinforces that quality and security are interconnected, maintaining product and process integrity now depends on protecting the information that supports them.
It would be interesting, Roger. This is the kind of thing where it's liable to grow as time goes on, and the requirements might change as this process data protection continues to grow, and your auditors may grow with it, have to grow with it, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, 100%, Russ. Yeah, for sure. Okay, the next slide are two current requirements that will be enhanced somewhat significantly: product safety and counterfeit parts. Product safety has always been central to AS9100, but the revision expands further to include concepts like proactive risk management, early identification of safety issues, and enhanced controls to prevent counterfeit or suspect parts from entering the supply chain. The upcoming revision expands the focus on product safety and counterfeit parts prevention to strengthen protection throughout the aerospace supply chain. This update reflects the industry's ongoing effort to ensure that every component meets the highest standards of safety, authenticity, and traceability. So, Russ, what do you think will be expected of organizations with the new enhanced requirements?
Well, this has been an issue we have even with the current standard, with current companies that we work with in addressing this adequately. But in the future, organizations are going to be expected to take an even more proactive approach, identifying potential safety risks earlier, and product lifecycle implementation and stronger verification and controls of suppliers, and ensuring the counterfeit or suspect parts cannot enter the production workspace. This includes training, clear communication of safety requirements, and stronger coordination between design.
Yeah, so here auditors will likely be looking for tangible evidence of these controls, such as risk assessments, supplier audits, and product conformity verification. The intent is to move beyond detection toward a fully integrated system that prevents safety issues and counterfeit parts before they occur, protecting both customers and end users. The next topic, sub-tier external provider control, is an existing requirement that's being enhanced with this revision. It introduces new requirements focused on sub-tier external control. The update strengthens accountability across the entire supply chain, ensuring that organizations not only manage their direct suppliers, but also have visibility and oversight into the sub-tier suppliers who may impact product quality, safety, and conformity. That piece there is new. So, Russ, what do you foresee with the enhanced requirements here?
Russ, I believe you're on mute.
Yeah, I can pick that up. So,
Okay, thank you.
organizations will now be expected to define how sub-tier providers are selected. So you've got the customer to the supplier, then down to the sub-tier. That's the new component. So organizations are going to need to define how they are controlling the sub-tier uh,
Hmm.
providers.
Roger,
Auditors,
I think I was off. Now I'm back on, I think.
yep. I picked that up.
Yeah.
So auditors here in sub-tier external provider control, auditors will look for documented processes that demonstrate how organizations verify sub-tier compliance, control changes, and respond to performance issues. Ultimately, this new element emphasizes end-to-end supply chain integrity, reinforcing that every link in the supply chain affects final product quality and safety.
And I think this is going to be a a major change. So this is going to require some attention.
Yes, I agree. All right, next bullet point there on the IA changes is measurement resources and variation. This introduces a new focus on measurement resources and variation to strengthen confidence in data accuracy and product conformity. This element recognizes that inconsistent measurement systems can lead to hidden variation affecting both product quality and process performance. So in this area, Russ, what do you foresee organizations having to do?
Well, organizations will now be expected to evaluate and control measurement resources, including equipment, software, and human factors, to ensure measurement integrity across all stages of production and inspection. This goes beyond just calibration. It involves assessing measurement capability, repeatability, and reproducibility to minimize uncertainty. The revision emphasizes a data-driven approach, linking measurement performance directly to risk management and continuous improvement. Companies will likely need to demonstrate how they identify resources of variation, implement corrective actions, and maintain traceability of their measurement results. So, Roger, what would you inspect that your auditors will be looking for to verify that this is being done effectively?
Yeah, here's auditors will likely look for evidence of a structured measurement system analysis, or MSA, proper training and verification of measurement accuracy, such as a gauge, repeatability, and reliability study. The intent is to ensure that decisions based on measurement data are reliable, supporting the aerospace industry's demand for precision and consistency at every level. Next slide introduces capability studies and control plans. So I'm going to go through these next couple slides rather quickly here to ensure that we allow sufficient Q&A time. So this section again introduces capability studies and control plans to strengthen process control and ensure long-term product conformity. Here, auditors are going to look for evidence of capability data, established acceptance criteria, and clear links between process performance and control actions. Ultimately, this element drives the industry towards predictable, stable, and continuously improving processes, ensuring aerospace products are built right the first time. Next topic should look familiar to everyone. It's an existing requirement. IA9100 will expand on the requirements of foreign object debris and damage, or FOD, to reinforce product integrity and safety throughout the manufacturing and maintenance processes. While FOD has always been part of the aerospace quality practices, the new revision emphasizes a more systematic, risk-based, and culture-driven approach. Here, auditors are going to look for evidence of FOD prevention integrated into daily operations, internal audits, and continuous improvement initiatives. The goal of this expansion is to make FOD awareness part of the organization's quality culture, the very first bullet, ensuring that prevention is embedded in every process, every tool, and every person from leadership to the shop floor. And the last bullet, advanced product quality planning, or commonly known as APQP, is a requirement to strengthen how organizations plan, validate, and launch new or modified aerospace products or processes. This update aligns AS9100 more closely with the APQP principles used in AS9145. While this is not new and it's commonly currently flowed down contractually, the IA9100 will include this in the standard. Auditors will likely expect to see documented planning tools such as the 5 APQP phases defined in AS9145, with the goal of this expansion to promote right the first time performance by embedding quality into every phase of product realization. So that takes us up to transition time. Don't panic, plan ahead. Now, now that we've discussed the upcoming revision and its focus areas, and again, those 9 focus areas will be discussed in great detail in our upcoming video series. The exact release date for IA9100 has not been finalized by the IAQG, but the goal is November of 2026. And while the transition period has also not been finalized, historically, the IAQG has allowed approximately 18 months from the official publication of a new revision for organizations to achieve compliance. However, the recommendation is not to procrastinate. Don't wait. We know what the new requirements are, the enhanced requirements. I would encourage organizations to begin working on those requirements, work with partners like Eagle Force to get the help to incorporate these new requirements, to be able to get your transition audit earlier rather than later, because later auditor resources run thin and you may risk running out of time. So with that, I think we have some time, Allison, for some Q&A.
All right. Yes, we do. Thank you, guys. If you can turn your cameras on, please, that would be great. Before we get started on the Q&A portion, I do want to let you guys know of, with all of these changes and new talking points, we're going to be setting off a new thing we haven't really done before. It's going to be kind of like an academy. Once a month, we're going to be putting out a video. It can range from 5 to 15 minutes on each topic. So we will be getting that information out to you. So that way you guys have all the information of what's changing and maybe more in-depth examples and discussion between Roger and Russ. Okay, so our first question here is going to be, where do I start? There's a lot of new information that is out. What would be the best place to start with implementing these new, standards?
That is probably a perfect question for Russ at Eagle Force.
Well, what you want to do is you have been given a list of things that are going to be obviously changed. And one of the things you want to take a look at is do a gap analysis to see what do we have here. And then you want to take a look at the gaps and which ones are long poles in the tent. So obviously, some of these are going to require quite a bit of work, and you'd be smart to start on that right away rather than wait till the last minute, because it's more difficult. Get started on it as soon as you possibly can. Hurt to get started on it now.
Thank you. Our next question is, might there be exceptions to the MSA, CPK, etc., when typical build quantities are lower, less than 30 pieces per run?
Yeah, I would expect that to be customer dictated, in the terms of a contractual or PO flow down.
Okay. All right, our next question is, will existing lead auditor certification need to be renewed with the new standard?
Well, the current standard doesn't require any lead auditor certification. It requires competency of the people performing internal audits. So therefore, some type of gap assessment training to the new IA requirements would be sufficient.
Thank you. Our next question is, what IA stands for? I do not want to assume as International Aerospace, but need to know.
Well, you hit the answer right on the head there.
Yep, it is International Aerospace.
That's exactly it. Yes. Okay.
And the why we do not know.
Yeah, the one thing I regret about that is a significant portion of the world out there applying this is defense and air and space, and this, trust me, still includes those folks, even though the IA doesn't appear to, but it does.
Good point, Russ. Yes, because aerospace stands for aviation, space, and defense. Yep. That does not change with the new standard.
Okay. Our next question is, I'd like to hear more about how auditors will provide objective evidence for quality culture. What will safeguard against subjectivity?
Yeah, that's going to be one of those touchy requirements like in AS9100D with organizational knowledge. It's a requirement. What's the auditors looking for? I say with quality culture may be a little easier because it's going to be driven from top leadership down. What's your
Yes.
quality culture policy? How do you integrate quality culture into your processes and systems? So I think it won't be as hard as some of the concepts that were actually in Rev D.
Okay. Our next question is, how can AI be used in the transition?
That's a great question. Probably outside of my my wheelhouse, but I would think that an AI tool could be built to perform that gap assessment that Russ is referring to, or not, maybe not the gap assessment, because it's not going to be able to assess what the organization has in place, but an AI tool could be programmed, I think, to quickly highlight the differences between AS9100 and IA9100.
Yeah, I think that could be useful for that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the next question is, will IA9100 still be built off of ISO's 9001, or will it be a standalone document?
To the best of my knowledge, at this point, it is still based on ISO 9001.
Yes, still part of ISO 9001
Mhm.
in its entirety will be there.
Okay. Great. This is great. I'm just going to keep going. All right. So the
Fine.
next question is, will there be new cybersecurity requirements? I didn't hear that in the presentation.
No one knows what the future holds, but I can tell you with the way our world is changing, new cybersecurity requirements will be evolving as basically the enemy evolves that we're fighting against.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to expand on that, many defense contractors are required to become certified to CMMC, and there's 4 different levels of that, which I'm not totally up on. Level 1 is like self-compliance, all the way up to level 4, which is certification for cybersecurity.
Okay. All right. The next question is there going to be a need for a new quality policy?
There will be a need to modify your quality policy.
Yeah, I would agree with Russ. I would think that the quality policy would at least be enhanced to address
Yeah.
the quality culture and ethics and behavior requirements.
Okay. All right. I'm going to keep going. Do we expect to see ISO 9001 revision change before the IA 9100?
Historically, yes. Typically, the aerospace revision follows the release of ISO 9001. I believe that's the plan with this next revision, so we shall see.
Okay. Now I know this next one, a lot of people I have been asking me, I'm getting emails on it. They put this has maybe already been stated before, but when and where can they get a preliminary copy of the new standard?
Well,
We're
the
all
standard,
wondering the same question, answer.
yeah, the standard hasn't been released, and industry is usually hesitant to release any drafts before the final publication. So there, I would just stay tuned to the the website that SAE Aerospace that publishes AS and soon to be IA standards. They will have updates on publication dates.
Okay. All right. And then this one's for you, Russ.
Oh
Somebody's
no,
asking if I don't know. Someone's asking if Bill Hauser is still with Eagle Force.
absolutely, he's my partner.
Yeah. All
It
right.
wouldn't
Okay,
be, it wouldn't be Eagle Force without Bill.
there you go. We got
Casey,
one. We got to have the
in
right
case
name.
he hears this, I want him to feel good.
All right, I'm going to keep going unless you guys have someplace else to be. Is that okay with you guys?
We're good here. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, I'm going to keep going. Okay. Says, what governance do we have as auditors to report to noncompliance of contractors?
Can you repeat that?
What governance do we have as auditors to report the noncompliance of contractors?
Contractor being the audited organization, I assume.
I would assume.
Okay. So we third-party auditors and certification bodies don't report to any external bodies the results of our audits. Our audits, per our contracts with our clients, are confidential. They have the results in their reports, and if the audited organization has a need to self-report to a regulatory agency or another body, then that would be upon them.
I may have misunderstood the question, but I assumed the question was an organization in the industry. Who do they report to if they find something inadvertently incorrect on a competitor or another company they're working with?
I have another one. It says implementation date.
As mentioned, the target publication is November of 2026 this year.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to keep going. What if all you do is to test in box assembly? There is no measuring and only specific calibrated torque wrenches are used for builds. All function test is computer-based, mostly automated. How will SPC and MSA be handled?
Well, as every requirement in AS9100 or many requirements are as applicable where necessary as needed type requirements. And any 9100 system, it's the organization determines the scope and applicability of the 9100 requirements.
All right. See here. All right. How long of a transition time will organizations have to be audited to the next? Let me start back over. How long of a transition time will organizations have to be audited to the next revision?
Yeah, historically, it's been 18 months from publication date. There's nothing to predict that time will be shortened for any reason. So until that comes out as a formal release, I guess it's still an unknown. But I would bet on the 18-month transition period. And again, to emphasize, you don't want to go out the full 18 months and then find that your certification body doesn't have any available resources because everybody else waited to the last minute. And I have seen that.
To support that, we have seen on these changes that organizations have waited too long, and then the certification group could not certify, could not perform the audit in time, and they went into suspension. And
Yep.
again, it's just because they waited too long. And one of the reasons we want to do this is everybody's aware you could start on this now. There should be no reason for an organization to be faced with that kind of a situation.
Yeah.
All goes
But
back
there's
to
not
that
a whole lot
slide.
of mercy. If you do, I can tell you there's not going to be any mercy.
Right.
Yeah.
All goes back to that slide I just put back up. Don't panic, plan ahead.
Yep. All right, I got another question. Does IA9100 relate in any way to the RM 13,000 standard for aircraft engines?
The 13,100 is a totally separate standard written by a totally separate group from the IAQG. The group is made up of IAQG member companies, specifically the engine manufacturers. So that standard will continue to be maintained and revised on its own, separate from 9100.
Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going. If current registration for recertification is in early 2027, March, will the transition be required prior to that date, assuming release in November 2026?
So if a recertification is early in 2027, and let's just say hypothetically the IAQG hits the publication date of November of 26, you're still going to have the 18-month transition period. So in reality, if it's published in November and you're looking at a Q1 recertification in 27, that's a relatively short period of time. So I would think most organizations would probably proceed to recertify under AS9100 and capture the transition at their first surveillance.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, I got another one. Would the third party be a part of OASIS?
Would a third party be part of OASIS?
Hmm.
So,
yeah.
so OASIS is the online aerospace supplier information system. Nothing with OASIS will change. From a certification body standpoint, we are still going to be required to use OASIS for the auditor's reporting mechanism, nonconformances. Suppliers will respond to the nonconformances. We perform our tech review in OASIS, and then publish the audit.
But as far as, if I understand the question, as far as third party, like Roger, you and I are both in OASIS as approved auditors, so in that case,
Yeah.
we're part of OASIS too. So
Yeah.
if you
So
have a question about an auditor, look them up in OASIS. One of the things that we see a lot is people saying, well, they're certified to aerospace, but not necessarily an OASIS, and that's where they need to be at if they're an actual auditor.
Yeah, and or supplier, so
Right.
So the revision here will not drive any change to OASIS. What I like to emphasize again was the real life example we just encountered where an unsuspecting organization procured a certification body and got an AS9100 cert that was not accredited, looked really nice, beautiful looking cert, but it wasn't worth the paper it was printed on.
Okay, this might kind of go a little bit further than that. Please speak more on the enhanced counterfeit part prevention requirements. Is there going to be more role-specific training requirements or something else?
Russ, do you have anything on that?
Say the question again.
Yeah, so it says, please speak more to the enhanced counterfeit parts prevention requirements. Is there going to be more role-specific training requirements or something else?
Yeah, going back to the slide, it does include enhanced training,
Yeah.
clear communication of safety requirements, but that's product safety. But yeah, so there will be enhanced training requirements, an emphasis on prevention. There, I would recommend joining there you won't be joining this. You'll be observing the monthly video series we'll put out, because the video series for each one of these topics, we're going to be doing some work behind the scenes and providing further detail.
Correct.
So there, I would say stay tuned.
Right.
Okay. Great, thank you. All right, I'm going to keep going if you guys can.
Yeah.
All right, on this transition, okay, good. On this transition to a new standard, IA9100, would the company need a gap analysis?
the company would not require a gap analysis. They'd be wise to have one.
Mm.
Yeah, I would agree. So if you like similar to the last transition from C to D, if you go on the IQG website to their certification management, and there's forms and things like that. There was they post they call them correlation matrix. So you can like currently we're well past this, but there was a correlation matrix that the IAQG provided to go from 9100 C to D. I presume that the IAQG will have those same type of tools on their website going forward with IA 9100. But as Russ mentioned, even if those are not there, it'd be recommended to do your own internal gap to see what you need to close.
But the other answer to it is it's not going to be a requirement, but it would be
right, there's no
wise.
requirement.
It would just be a wise decision.
Okay, on to the next one. Do you foresee any issues with certified auditor resources, as seen back in 2016 with the release of Rev D?
I do not. What happened back with the release of D, what we experienced there was just basic attrition. A lot of auditors were later on in their careers and decided, hey, I don't want to go through more training, and decided to retire. We've been at least here at BV, we've been very successful over the years of bringing on new auditors year after year after year. So I don't foresee that as an issue going forward.
Okay, all right. That's the last of our questions. Oh, go ahead.
And they also have a geriatric section in which they maintain all their auditors.
All right, on that note, that is all we have for questions.
I
Again, I do want to
I figured that'd be the end of the questions after that.
Yeah. I do want to reiterate, we'll be sending out this recording Thursday along with the slides and more information about the Academy we'll be having on our YouTube channel that will definitely hone in more on the changes that are coming. I do want to thank Roger and Russ for your time and all of the work you guys put into this. It's been a dream working with you guys on this webinar. We will be doing another webinar in a few months with all three of us again, so I hope to see everybody back. All right, take care and have a great week, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.